It's a 1926 Waco 9 built in Troy, Ohio. And being the 100th anniversary of Waco this year, we were hoping to get this airplane done and bring it to AirVenture just to celebrate. It's one of the oldest Wacos flying. My wife and I, Carlene, own this airplane. We bought it back in 2017 from the Bob Howie estate. We kept it for a few years, didn't do much work on it, and then decided we'd finish it. So put a group together, mostly at Brodhead, Wisconsin, that finished the airplane for us. Bob Howie acquired it in the mid-90s. That's when he did a lot of work to the airplane. Had a set of wings built for it, fuselage mostly gone through. He did have an overhauled engine for it. And then when I acquired it, we did fabric work. Chris Price built all new landing gear and all new wing struts for it, did all the sheet metal work for it. Ted Davis covered the fuselage. Jim Whedon covered the lower wings. So it was a real group effort down in Brodhead. So a friend, Paul Wagner, showed me a photo of a Waco 9 with this Penco gasoline logo on the side of it. The airplane of those days, if they weren't a sponsored airplane, they were kind of a boring paint job. And I thought, well, I want to do something different. So when I saw that neat advertising logo, we decided we'd paint this airplane that way. And then we decided to kind of spice it up a little bit and put the maroon color with it just to give it an accent. The push was to get it here to Oshkosh, and Andrew was willing because I was bringing another airplane. Luckily, EAA worked with us. Andrew was able to land it at the ultralight field on the grass, which was ideal.
It's interesting. For a 1926 airplane, it actually flies pretty good. So that's obviously a relative comment. Compared to a Jenny, it flies pretty good, which would have been its contemporary. There were still a lot of Jennies around mid-20s. So this would have been a step up from a Jenny. The sound of it, the engine is a 105-year-old OX5, and you fly along and you could see the rocker arms moving. You know, in the old days, they were taught kind of always be on the lookout for a landing field. Most of the time we fly modern stuff, I really don't look that much for emergency landing fields. This thing, I look for landing fields. I'm going along, there's a good wheat field, and that alfalfa field looks pretty good, and there's a little bit of that to the operation of it. It's definitely an art airplane, not a science airplane. It's like riding a horse compared to driving a car. It's something you feel, and it's something that's intuitive.
They're blown away by its antiqueness. You know, there's no flying wires, they're flying cables. It has these elephant ailerons, which was actually an addition we learned from the earlier models. And of course the engine's so rare and unique, single magneto, water cooled, 90 horsepower. It's got tail skid, no brakes. I walked around here, and the E2 Cubs are probably the closest in the antique airplanes that are on this field. So this one is definitely the oldest here.